I think religious paintings from the past are, on the whole, spectacular. Painters, if they think they're being inspired by an almighty supreme being, they're gonna, bring their A game. I think all of that stuff is beautiful and inspired work. Now, I don't think you have to be religious to appreciate it. The compositions back then were, I don't even know how they did it. The compositions were so beautiful back then, and it was important to them. There was a geometry to it. There's a lot, you can see paintings like, there's a painting by, I don't know, Titian, and there's another painting by somebody else, and they'll have like almost the same composition, because it's like compositions would be discovered. Like, here's a really good way to organize a couple people in a painting, and then other people would use it. I don't know, we don't compose like that anymore. So here's what happened, I think. People were going along, doing their thing, Bach and Beethoven and Rembrandt, and making this beautiful, beautiful work. And then something new would happen. Something would break through, like Schoenberg in music, 12-tone writing, or Van Gogh or something in painting. And people go, wow, this is a brand new thing. This person's a genius. Well, now everyone wants to be a genius. So everyone thinks we need to recreate art every time we paint. So that people can see that I have ideas that nobody else has. I think creating a beautiful thing is first, and then what you put on top of that is what you put on top of that. But I think making a beautiful thing is enough reason on its own. I would also say, though, like those Vermeer genre paintings, like the woman with the picture, they are conveying some emotion to you. So it's not a message that you could write down in a sentence, but I see the pensive expression on the woman's face, and I can feel the cool air in the room, and she's probably getting ready to start the day or whatever. You still get stuff from that. It's just more of an emotional connection. And I would like that to be there in everything. But what I'm really trying to do is I'm taking the message that's in these old paintings, and I'm flipping it around, sometimes with just a little tiny tweak. I did a painting of Mary. It was based on a piece at the DIA. It's just a close-up of her head. It was very beautiful, Renaissance, and I gave her a Hello Kitty earring. Everything else was the same. My point there was, I think Mary was presumably like 12 or 13 years old when she got pregnant. There's stuff that we would consider immoral that just wasn't then. We've changed, right? But some of the stuff we haven't changed. Anyway, I'm getting off the topic. What I'm trying to do is flip the message. And all those old paintings have all these great allegories and symbols and, little bits of meaning in them that I'm fascinated by. I love that stuff. And I love to put my own in there as I'm working, that I know maybe 1% of people who look at the painting are actually going to notice or understand, but it gives me great satisfaction to do it. I love technique. I love seeing paintings that are well painted. That gets me as excited as the overall beauty of the thing. But that's a personal interest. One of the biggest things that you have to understand to paint like this is that you can't actually paint illumination. There's no light source on the canvas. So if you want something to be bright, you can only make it bright by surrounding it with dark stuff. So you kind of have to take the image that you see with your eyes and turn the whole thing down so that you can bring those highlights out. That was an interesting thing to understand. The glazing to get those, flesh is endlessly varied. That you can't just like mix up a flesh tone and there's my arm, you know. There's all this stuff going on, and I don't think with pigment you can't really get in there and make like there's a tiny little bit of blue here and then you know. But if you do build up these layers and let things show through, it happens by itself, and which is really what's happening with skin, right? It's to a certain extent it's translucent. You can see the blue coming through the color of my veins. It's redder in places where the skin is thinner. You know, you're doing the exact same thing. You're kind of reproducing that with paint. People see the Renaissance painting with the little quirky thing on it, and their immediate assumption is it's like cute. You know, I'm doing Mona Lisa with a cell phone or whatever. I think it probably gets brushed off as that would be my biggest concern before people take the time to see that there's stuff going on in here, you know.